okay, you always seemed to have aspects of this music thing figured out. And I met you when I was 18, so I think you were like 21 or something. And here's why I say this. You were playing in a new band at the time called Shovel Gag. And we were out front talking because it was like a 21 and over place. And there was a band that was supposed to play with you guys, but they did not want to play, or the drummer didn't want to play because it was a 21 and over show. And I don't know, you probably remember this. That was kind of a big thing back then in the scene of, oh, we come from this hardcore scene and we're not going to play a 21 over show. We're not going to play at a bar. It's got to be all ages. And I mean, which is now, I mean, all the bands that kind of felt that way then, they play, you know, Alex's Bar and stuff like that now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Anyway, my question to you, where this roundabout question is going is, you said, and forgive me if I already said this, you said point blank, you were talking to me and Pop, I said, oh, well, you know, he didn't want to play. And you goes, well, you know what? They need to get a new drummer. Because if they really want to do something with this playing thing, they're going to have to play 21 and over shows. They're going to have to do this. They're going to have to do that. And I remember sitting there going like, I mean, I was new to this whole thing. And I was like, how does he have this kind of figured out? And so my question is, where does that come from with you? Like having that sort of business aspect figured out with something that you love and something that you're really passionate about. Because I find that for me, like, and I think that for a lot of people, the whole art and commerce thing is very, very difficult. But you seem to have kind of been able to always separate the two.
Do you remember what band that was?
Well, you were playing with Shovel Gag. I think the band was Evergreen.
Oh, I remember the flyer.
Yeah, and Dean Martin's Liver ended up playing instead of Evergreen.
Dean Martin's Liver, all right.
And JJ's Lounge off the 55.
Next to a roller rink.
Yep.
Yeah. Shovel Gag. That's funny. For all you horror fans, you know where the name Shovel Gag came from. You know, did you know the answer to this question?
I'm assuming, I want to say Evil Dead, but I might be wrong. Nope.
No, well, it was Tom Savini's Scream Greats, which was a documentary kind of special effects thing on his career. And there's a portion of the documentary where they're talking about a shovel gag on Day of the Dead, where so George Romero, he goes, Tom called me up the other day and he says, got this shovel gag I've been thinking about. Could use a shovel gag somewhere. So we wrote in a shovel gag. And we used to always say that as a joke because he says shovel gag 3 times. and we thought that would be funny. And we actually used that clip as the intro to our demo tape.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So anyway, that's the obscure horror reference.
That's awesome. Thank you for that.
Short-lived band, Shovel Gag. But anyway, so the business thing. You know, I was just always very, and still am very sort of business-minded. I mean, every band I think I've ever been in, I've been the leader. I've been the guy that took the reins and said, hey, let's do this. I'm going to get this done. It's just who I am. It's my personality. I've never felt like, hey, this is my band, but somebody has to step up and be the guy that is responsible, you know?
Right.
And I've kind of always taken that sort of leadership role. And I guess I was just kind of being that way that night. I don't know, you know? It ended up being, you know, a lot of the downfall of, you know, certain things like, you know, like with Darren and Malfunction, for example, you know, when we started Malfunction after Shovel Gag, you know, Darren was with me from YUCKMOUTH, Shovel Gag into Malfunction. And Malfunction was a band that had real chances of doing something like, you know, big.
Right.
And I remember Darren would always just say, well, hey, man, you know, if we get signed or whatever, you know, I'm going to have to quit. And I would just be like, why are you in this band? So why are you in the band? You know, because he was very focused on his special effects makeup stuff. So, you know, I pulled him aside and I said, bro, you know, you need to choose one or the other. We can't potentially get signed and things take off and have to suddenly look for a bass player, you know? And it was weird how he flip-flopped, you know, after that. He was very like, no, special effects makeup is my life. This is what I'm going to do. That's main priority. And I don't have time to be in a signed band and tour, blah, blah, blah. But then later, after Malfunction, you know, just a couple of years later, his mindset changed and he wanted to be a rock star, and the makeup stuff went on the back burner. And then he ended up getting signed with that band Handsome Devil, you know, and did that for a few years. Now he's back back to the sculpting stuff, but he still does music too. So, you know, it was unfortunate that Darren wasn't as focused at that time, because who knows, you know, if things could have been different with him. I don't know, you know.